you know, it's fun to talk to everyone and then see them later.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
All right.
This is crazy because we're gonna try our best to not fangirl here. I've been a fan of yours, bro, since 2019.
Really?
Facts,
That's
crazy.
When we first started, we were like, we used to just come down to Toronto and do one-off interviews with like artists, and you were on our list for a very long time. Yeah.
I sent you a DM, but whatever.
Yo, I honestly,
we did not deserve it back then.
No.
You're so amateur.
Listen, I'm pretty bad with social media. Anyways, I'm sorry if I missed it.
Dude, it's all good.
You did. If I missed it, you did.
Okay.
You left it on red and said "fuck you" a week later. So, so never
And
in a
then
million
a week
years.
after that, you said, "Sorry, I was drunk."
I don't remember any of it. Maybe I was drunk, so I don't know.
How you feeling today, man?
Man, I'm good. I'm chilling. Just excited to showcase what I've been kind of holding in. So it's gonna be
Took a bit of a hiatus there, eh?
Yeah, definitely. I had to. It was getting kind of nuts in life, and I just needed to take a step back and breathe and
Little mental health break.
Yeah, for sure. You know, mental health break, physical health break. You know what I mean? Like the mental health started affecting the physical health. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Had to definitely take a step back and work on that. And but I'm slowly walking back out there. And
So like, was Phyllis Self like your April track? Is that like you bringing yourself back?
I think with Philosoph, that was actually on the full circle is a project I put out last year, and on the physicals on the vinyl, Philosoph was the last like secret track on there, and I had a little bit more of a plan initially, but life happened, and I just decided that I'm just gonna be spontaneous and put this out, and I definitely put Philosoph out because like in order to embark on the next step of what I'm doing, this has to come out first. There's certain things that like just has to come first. You have to hear this first before I do what I'm about to do. And because even after I put out Philosoph, I took the break like around the same time too. So I was kind of just like, I really just put that out just to put it out, and like with no plan, no nothing, and
Just feel like a kid again, man.
yeah, like, and I think that's when music is the most fun, and like that's when the craziest and coolest things happen. You know, sometimes you just got to be a little bit.
Because when you start out, it's like, I made a song, it's dope, I'm going to post it. Now it's like, I need the design assets.
Yeah.
I need the rollout to be this. I
Yeah.
need the visuals. I need this. So it's like, dude, I just want to post it.
I think there's a time and a place for that, but also like people need to stop being pretentious and like, you know, do your thing. Like there's so many ways to do this, and honestly, no one's really gonna know. No one's gonna know what's going on behind the scenes, anyways. So even if you're winging it the whole time, no one's gonna know unless you tell everybody, "Hey, I'm winging it." And like, to be honest, like it's cool to sometimes tell people, "Yo, I'm winging it," because then other people will be inspired by that. They'll know that you're a person. I feel like a lot of artists these days like are just not even people; they're just products, and like that's not in the business that I'm in. I'm a person. Like I have to take a break. I have to breathe. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I eat the same way. Like, so, but yeah, I definitely have big rollout plans too. Like I have really cool, creative, like left field rollouts that I'm definitely.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I go crazy for a good rollout.
Yo, listen.
I love a good
When
rollout.
you're in the content the world, you're like, that's a good.
I respect that
rollout.
rollout.
Yeah, I have some pretty wild ideas. So
Give us a little taste.
little taste. Oh man.
Oh, shucks, he says. Oh,
listen. I guess I could just say that the Clairmont The Second universe is growing and expanding. I think that's what I could.
We were like,
like
that was
that.
one of the things we've noticed about you is like you're a big like concepts guy, if you will.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how that starts though. Does it start with a song and then it just becomes and snowball effects into something much bigger, or are you like looking at that big picture and then thinking, how can I supplement this big picture with music, visuals, a short film that you have acted in that's 25 minutes? Like, you know, you're doing everything, but like, how do you put that together?
I think at least for me, I'm somebody who operates like very much on how I feel. And because I do that, like it allows for a lot to kind of come in just naturally, and ideas just come. Like it's I just make sure that I write them down, and it could stem from, as you said, like it could stem from just a song. Like I can make a song, and then that song can inspire a video, and then if I usually know what a video looks like as I'm making a song or when it's done, and then if I know what that video looks like, I'm like, okay, like, can I extend this? Like, and but it's really based on how I feel. Like I think that people do too much of hitting quotas on what they think they need to do for a project or for a song, rather than giving a project or a song what it actually needs. I didn't drop a bunch of music videos for, my last project, but I did drop a short film because I just felt like that's what that project needed. The project before that, it just needed this amount of videos or these types of videos. And I think it's just important that people need to listen to their own art, listen to themselves, and really just like, yo, if this project or this calls for this specifically, then I'll do this. But like forcing it really just honestly ends up in someone being disappointed or like it just not being as good as it really can be. And like I really want my shit to look good. You know what I mean? Sorry for cussing. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss. Okay, yeah. I really want my stuff to
say whatever the fuck you want, man.
That being said, I really want my shit to look good. I want my, but I also want it to feel good. But I also want it to feel like it makes sense. There's a lot of forced things, and I've seen like certain things from certain artists, and I'm like, that I don't believe you. Like I don't believe that. That's not what you do. Yeah. Like, and I'm not saying that people can't change. I think that change is very necessary. I'm definitely going through changes myself, and like there's definitely aspects of my art that is changing. But I also feel like it doesn't feel like I did it because someone told me to do it. More so like this is the natural progression of where things are gonna go. Yeah,
you're such an artist, bro. That's such an artist answer, man. I love it. I love it.
It's what you're kind of describing though is like having your cake and eating it too, though. Like, is that really possible, do you think?
I think it's absolutely possible, and I think it's really just up to like what business you want to be in. A lot of people, want to be in a specific type of business and a specific type of industry, especially music. I have changed a lot. I don't want a lot of the same things anymore. I have bigger plans, but also simpler plans. And because my wants and needs have changed, I realize that I don't really have to play by anybody's rules. The only reason people play by rules is because they're scared.
Fuck
and
rules.
Like that's what exactly. It's because they're scared, and it's like they don't believe in themselves really. Like I'm somebody who believes in myself on a level that maybe a lot of people don't, and I definitely lose that from time to time. That's gonna happen, but at the root and the core of it all, like I really believe in what I'm doing.
I was gonna ask, is that something that once you get, you don't just have it? You keep falling in and out of it, or you do have it, you just lose sense of it. For
sometimes you lose, like sometimes you forget. I think the game will make you forget. Watching everybody else kind of constantly doing things, and it'll make you forget. You'll be like, like I need to kind of catch up. But I think once that that ego aspect kind of runs away, and you feel like how I feel, where it's like, yo, no matter what anybody does, like I'm still the guy. Like then it doesn't really matter at what pace you move, as long as you just move at your pace and just make sure your shit is good. Like just make sure you're at the top of the game. And I know that people just can't really touch what
shit is very dope. I must say, because I like
you're
one of my artists that I play when it's my turn to go on the aux, and people and I want to like amaze people, and they're like, oh shit, who's this guy? Like, especially like when I'm going, like when I'm trying to impress a stoner girl, I'll play Clairmont The Second. You know what I'm saying?
Fire. That's I'm actually happy to hear that.
Is that like I feel like that's who you make music for, though. You know what I mean?
Guys that are trying to impress stoner girls or stoner girls?
I was going with the first one. Like the underground that you didn't know you needed type of like vibe.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say too much, but that's cool.
Yeah. Another thing too is like we're talking about like, being a real person, as well as like, letting that come through in your art. Your style, like your actual like clothing style is something that I feel like is very curated. You know what I mean? How do you like incorporate that into your artistic, endeavors? Because, whenever I see a music video, like you're outfits are perfect, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
my inspirations, my influences when it comes to like art, or like you know, a lot of it comes from specific time periods and eras, and I feel like those things are like, they go hand in hand. Like, it's just what's on the screen, you know what I mean? It's just what's in the picture. You can't have one without the other. And it's not a thing that I really think too hard about. It's just things that I like. And I think it's kind of touching on what I said earlier with just believing in yourself and believing what you do, but also like doing artists that do things that are kind of just like out of character. I feel like if you're somebody who is you in your fullest form, it really doesn't matter, like, as long as you believe it. Because if you don't believe it, no one else is going to believe you. And, you know, and I think with me, like, I think now it's just, maybe I was thinking about it more. I can't really speak. I don't remember, but to me now it's second nature. If, let's say I'm doing a specific music video for a specific song, I know what the fit is going to feel like. And like, I think I'll start there where it's like, okay, like, what am I going for? Or like, do I like this? Cool. And then it's just that simple. And then, you know, if there's any meaning to something, that's something that usually comes, sometimes it comes before, but sometimes it comes way later. Sometimes I won't even know what I did until a month passes, or like years after I make something. I'm like, that's why I did that. And you know what I mean?
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. I like, I love the fact that you made a short film. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Because I love movies and film and all
Sick.
that. I love videography a lot.
Sick.
So I'm really happy to see that you do that, because I feel like it's an avenue that you could really fit well in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting to me because I watch, like, I study those things on YouTube, and I watch like Scorsese is one of my favorites. Obviously, it's not like a hot
legend,
take or nothing, but
don't know if you ever heard of him.
Italian guy that likes Scorsese.
Yeah.
Wolf
He's
of Wall
okay.
Street.
Yeah, he's okay.
Wolf of Wall Street. You ever seen it? You know.
I taught him a few things. Nah, he's a legend, man. He's a legend.
That's
But
hilarious.
one thing that he does when he makes his movies is he starts with the music, and then he'll develop his scenes based on the music. There's even one scene in Goodfellas where I forget the name of the song, but it's from the band Cream, and he had the song in mind when he was writing the scene, and he lowered the frame rate
Okay.
to the BPM of that song, and it just has a different feel to it.
Exactly.
So I'm kind of curious, like, you being an artist first, obviously, did you pick the music first and then build the movie around that?
So the film, that concept, like, is like even like not really done. If I'm like, it's still something that I'm actively creating. Well, not creating, but putting together. And I knew what that film was gonna look like for a while. Like it there's glimpses of that. Like I had a song called or I have a song called Interesting, and that video, I guess, was the beginning of where I was headed visually, where I was headed, you know, pacing wise, and just kind of like where I'm trying to pull from. And I wanted to take more of a film, like a movie, you know, scripted type of approach to my music videos, because I just feel like, and it not be corny, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's something that happens a lot. Like, people try to script.
That goes back to not forcing it, though, right?
Exactly.
You know,
And so that being said, like, with, you know, Full Circle, and like, I knew what it was gonna look like. I knew the time period, I knew the era, I knew the fits. Like, those were things that were kind of naturally coming to me. And as I was like even working on the music, I feel like because there's no definite, like in the film, there's no definite time period. But there is a time period that I had in my head. I'm not going to obviously share that, because I think, you know, I think people should really try to figure that out. But there's also an element of future in it. So like just futuristic things. And with my music not being literally, I guess, the era I pulled it from, the music feels like it's from the era I pulled it from, just based on the way I mixed the songs, based on the way the sound, the texture of the music, and like just how I did that. That all kind of just melted together, and it definitely comes from like my inspirations and my influences, and just like what I like in film. You know, I definitely had songs in mind when I was putting scenes together. Like there was like even the intro scene, I'm walking through, you know, wherever. I had a song from like I had a Delphonic song on there initially, just because I knew like the feel that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like what I wanted to maybe feel like. But then I also had a couple other, you know, ideas, and then I crafted the song kind of around that, and the song that I ended up using for that scene, and I crafted the song around the film, and then the song ended up just being bigger than like, it's not out yet, but like to me, what that song is about is just bigger than just the film. You know, it could be applied to so many different things, and I think, as you said, like as we talked about, not forcing it really like allows things to just fall in place, and people don't do a lot of that, and it can really help out sometimes. I just do that a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with like 2 artists who have like made short films with like their music incorporated into it. I want you to like just tell me which one you kind of like align yourself with more.
Smash or pass.
Kanye's like Runaway, like this very artistic, very dramatic piece, or Childish Gambino's Guava. Have you know which one I'm talking about? That's where you're like, that's what
Guava Island. Yeah.
Guava Island, sorry.
Yeah.
You align yourself more so with that one.
Definitely what helped me craft I'm glad you actually brought that up. What helped me craft my film, and
Full Circle, by the way.
The Full Circle film, yes.
That also came full circle.
Yeah, exactly. What helped me craft that was actually, I don't know if you know, but Childish Gambino or Donald Glover put out a short film called Clapping for the Wrong Reasons.
Never seen it.
That was like during the Because the Internet days, and with that short film,
Sick album.
what helped me with that film was the fact that I didn't fully understand everything, and it reassured me of doing things for myself, because it's like, oh, this is a film he definitely wrote for himself. Like, this is something or at least I think, you know, just what I pulled from it is like, he wrote this with himself in mind. And that's kind of how I wrote my film. And I think, like, I used to worry about, like, are people going to get this? Are they going to get that? You know, maybe not. But if I get it, let me start there. And then you know, if I'm as much of a person as I think I am, somebody out there is also going to grab whatever they're going to grab and feel whatever they're going to feel from it. And that's kind of like the approach I took with that whole film, and Guava Island also, you know what I mean? Like, just that, you know, that kind of like length of film, like it's not super long. It's not super short.
just under an hour type deal.
And like, even if I'm being real, to me, like what I love about films is not just a script or just the cinematography, but how I feel about the whole thing. And how I feel about Guava Island, or even like a lot of short films, you know, in that lane, is just like the feeling that I get from all of it together. You know what I mean? It's not like and like, this is not to say anything was bad or good, but it's more so like, how do I feel watching this? And like, yo, I love that aspect. And I think that if people were less pretentious, they could pull away a lot more things from a lot more things. They could pull away like, oh, I like that. Like, how do I make that mine? Like, how do I change it? How do I, you know, and being open to a lot of things has allowed me to really get really, really outside the box with like what I do musically and visually.
Do you find yourself like more critical of yourself in the editing room than you do when you're making a song, like mixing it?
Man, I'm just trying to throw it all out. I'm trying to be less critical. I think that they're kind of the same. Like, you know,
my thumb was covering the lens at that point. Fuck it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there's certain like mistakes that happen like that when recording or like when shooting, that sometimes you just gotta let some of them go. Sometimes you just gotta let something go.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I think of when I start getting too stressed about something, I'm like, yeah, this is time to like find a middle ground and just keep moving. And yeah, that usually, it's
bottom line, fuck it.
Yo, honestly, like,
nah, fuck it.
Sometimes it's really that. Like, you think too hard about things, you overthink it, and Some of my favorite songs I've made, or like there's times I've preferred the demo of a song I've made than to, you know what I mean? And
it's like there's like this one artist I know from Ottawa, and he was like showing me a unmixed version of his song and like a mixed one, and we were both like that like the unmixed sounds so
Way
much
better.
like
listen, I'm telling you, like it's that pretentiousness, man. Like people being a little bit too thinking that they're too good for everybody. That like, you know what I mean? Like in trying to get things perfect. And not saying that in that case, but like with a lot of other things, like, okay, it has to be this way, it has to be that way. It's like, yo, just go with what it feels like. So even with, you know, songs like demos, like the approach I've been taking now is like when I make a demo and I get it to a spot where I like it, granted, I'm pretty good at what I do, so my demos kind of just sound like complete songs.
Humble brag, love it.
But with when I'm ready to mix,
blushing, man?
when I'm ready to mix,
Blushing at his own compliment
yo,
he gave
listen,
to himself.
listen, bro, listen.
I'm pretty good at this. Oh, you stop it.
I'm all right. So when I get to the point where it's like I'm ready to mix the song now, I used to be in the habit of doing the things that you're supposed to do when you're mixing. I've kind of thrown that away, and I'm like, okay, when I mix it, how do I get it to a point where I can mix it, master it properly, but still have the same feel as the demo, or you know what I mean, when I first made it. And that's completely changed everything, just like keeping that same energy, but honestly the same sonic sounds, and kind of doing things that are like unnoticeable from the demo stage to the mix stage to maybe everybody else, but things that I know that like will help me out when I'm mastering. But yeah, like really just keeping that demo energy, that like that, because that's when it's free, that's when you're just in the mode. But then when you start getting too technical about it, freak you out. And like
it's not Clairmont the Second anymore, it's Clairmont the First. Like,
exactly, you know.
That's his father.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
his father.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ,
who's
man.
actually the first. My
I
dad's
figured,
actually, yeah.
That had to make sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's actually just there is no Clairmont the First, would have been so weird.
That would have
man.
been crazy. I don't know why I chose that.
Yeah, Clairmont the Second. Like, oh, is there a Clairmont that? Nah.
So good, I'm 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I just prefer silver. I just think that I think second place is just the spot to be, you know.
Someone's got to come second.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
but I think that would be a little too humble. just a little bit too humble if I did that. And there's nobody.
That's
in
like
front.
honestly though, I like that. Just I don't want to get too into it, but like that was my issue with like Utopia. Like it just felt like he was like trying to be so intentional with everything that it lacked. Like it was a very creative album, but like it was like it lacked like that sort of certain je ne sais quoi, if you will, just because like he was swinging for the fence every time.
Yeah, I still haven't finished the project personally. There was like songs that I really liked on there. I think the way I listen to music though is like I pull from what I like. So like I could listen to a project and maybe not like the project, or maybe not like even maybe not even a song, but it's like, oh, I like that though, and I like that thing. I don't think I haven't listened to the project fully to make a proper assessment on it. But it's been interesting kind of watching both sides of like, you know, his fans kind of like, I'm not really too keen on it personally.
Yeah, no, it was just.
I mean,
it was
not
okay.
too keen, but I'm not really familiar. Like,
but like the thing is too, like just going back, it's a concept, you know, that is going to be so much more, because like I was thinking about it, like he can't make an album now without it being something bigger than just an album, right?
Got
like
it, yeah.
Astro
Feels like he's always
World,
one-upping himself.
yeah, Astro
Yeah.
World
I
had
feel like it's a
Astro,
dangerous
like,
thing to
yeah,
get
exactly.
into your head, you know?
yeah.
Because then we're like, what happens? Like when you get like there is a top you can get to,
Yeah.
and like what do you
Yeah.
I think
just like pulling out your eyelashes every time you don't.
stupid
Travis.
I think people should just honestly
Why'd I get Drake to whisper? God damn it, Trav! you
Cost
knew
half
that
as much, he whispered.
yo, that's jokes. I think I don't know. I think that a lot of people overthink things like that. You know, like with me, like I'm really moving at my own pace. So I just kind of do what I feel is necessary for what I'm doing or like necessary for how I feel. In the context of that, like things like just needing to be bigger, like yeah, I don't know what's going through their mind when they're making what they make, but like that definitely goes through like, okay, how do we one up this? But it's like, yo, honestly, sometimes you just need to make something and just like
be okay with what it is. It doesn't have to be better than my last project. But
that's why I like Mac Miller. That's a good example of that. You know what I mean? Each album was different, but like better than the last in some way.
Mac is the guy.
1 second.
Absolutely.
I just got to shit.
Okay, just because there was a pause there, I was like, this is the perfect time to do that. What did you just say?
He's talking about
Mac Miller.
Mac Miller.
RP Mac, yeah.
Super dope.
Yeah. RP Mac.
Okay, do you want to just wrap it?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I think they need me on that sound check. I was waiting for a very long time to do sound check, and they were running behind, but it went more behind than I thought.
My bad.
No, it's not even your fault at all. I don't know what's going on personally. So
I do want to say
for
though,
sure.
You didn't ignore me when I DM'd you initially.
Okay.
I hit unsend after like 4 days because I was embarrassed.
Really? I don't remember the DM. Like, yo, like
no one uses the unsend option like this guy.
I'm the king of the unsend.
This guy, unsend was built for this guy.
You know what? If I didn't see it, then it was probably a thing of like, I don't know what you said, but I'm assuming it had to do with.
I think you're really cool.
With it, you know, something like that. I was probably honestly just
you know what it was?
off of IG.
It was a fucking paragraph. Maybe like me having to like explain myself and what I do and who we are and why we'd want to interview. And I was like, it's too much. I see a paragraph in my DMs. I'm like, get out of here.
Send that. Leave that there.
All right,
I get to them eventually. Like the thing is, like
they got to make a resend it. But
yo, I get to them like, but sometimes like these days I'm a lot worse with social media because I just thinking about a lot. You know, there's a lot of stuff happening in life. So, but yeah, like I would take like very very long breaks from just like everything, like not checking notifications, not checking DMs, and like even till this day, like I try to stay away from it because that's a whole nother story. But
yeah, no, I hear you, bro.
But like, yeah, you'll definitely send a message and leave it there. Like I'll probably find it eventually. Like there's messages I've seen from like years ago, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even see this.
Sorry,
like,
could be you.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
yeah. Well,
that's cool.
I met you. So
yeah, this is perfect. So
the
like,
old-fashioned way, you know.
Yeah, and honestly, like. This is probably the better way to do it. You 100%. Know what I mean? Like, we're here.
We're here.
You know, so,
thank you very much, man, for stopping by.
Really
it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
I
appreciate you guys having me. Man. Love, man.
This is weird, but I've never dapped someone up and been like, yo, this person's hand is big as fuck, dude. Like, that was a crazy dab. All right, and that's where that was wild. I'm just saying.